It is a bad time to get up here. So be real careful, or they're going to start changing their business plans and say they don't need coaching because they just quit their dreams. And they will think up some circumstance that acquired that is totally made up to justify it. But we have to guard against it. And the way we do it is we make them self-aware of it. So they realize the way they're feeling is normal. Shake that off. Shake that off. Okay, so how you react and how you talk to other human beings, whether they be your agents, your clients, the leaders, their agents, it's a tough time. Why? Because most of us have been off for, 50% of the last month. Okay, now we may have not been off of life. We're watching kids or we're with family, and that can be very stressful and exhausting too, but we haven't been working as much. So there is something to be said when you're not working as much and then you come back to work. And this week is the first day that you're out of shape. You have to get your endurance up. You're not used to getting 150 emails in 1 hour at 8 a.m. like you were before Thanksgiving. Makes sense? So that starts to hit. Now, I'm making you aware of it. I really hope you are doing that with every single one of your clients too. Please don't ask questions here. Tell them how to feel. Tell them it's okay. This is where we have to deliver some content and not only be in self-discovery. You have to let them know that because they are stressed the bejesus. All their agents want to come back to work. And you can do that one of two ways. You can roll your eyes and go, oh yeah, there they all. Now you all want to work. And you can have that attitude, which is not a leadership attitude. That is a salesman attitude. That is a low level of the totem pole attitude. Or you can tell them that's why they need you. That's why they need a leader. So don't go balking at them. Don't go making fun of them. It's that attitude that demonstrates they can't do it on their own, that they'll crash and burn, that they just ride with motivation up and down, up and down. They always need to be motivated. They need a job to motivate them. They need me to motivate them. They need a meme in the morning to motivate them. They just can't stay steady and keep their emotions in between the lines. They can't be consistent. They have to go up and down and up and down and up and down. Agent mindset has some really good modules in that course on this. And it's a great thing for them to be starting to play in their team meetings right now, because guys, these next 3 months are the hardest. It's still cold in most places of the country. They're miserable. They're dying for spring come February, March. There's no holidays. There's nothing fun. And do not think I'm joking here. Football is one of the most depressing situations on the planet. Half of people's teams were disintegrated last week. Does that make sense? And every week, especially after this weekend, a lot more are going to go. What does that mean? There goes all their fun. Most people, unfortunately, they have that to look forward to every weekend. And when that's gone, now they got to find up depressing reasons to drink. I'm not joking. And this is not a joke. I've watched this for decades. People dependent on that to bring them up. And then Monday they come down and get those emails and it's the job's fault. It's the coach's fault. I don't have time for this right now. I don't even want to grow. I cannot tell you how many MLS dues are due in the next few months. Why do you think they cancel? Worst time of the year to have them? But all these MLSs have their MLS dues come due in February, March. It's the worst time to have those things come due because people are so depressed at that time. They quit at that time. So we have to keep them up and I just wish you could play this for them, because if they hear it, they'll realize it's a normal thing, that everyone goes through this, so much so that you can say that we actually talk about this as a group of coaches. It's a thing. It's such a big deal. It's a thing. That's how common it is. And guys, all of you go through it to some degree too. And if you haven't yet, check back with me over the next couple months. It is a tough time. People have to make changes, which can behoove you if you look at this the right way. If you're trying to grow your team or organization, it is moving season right now. Everybody needs to make some sort of change. Have to, because they can't sit in their own skin. It's so miserable. I can't wait for the sun to come out. I can't wait for something fun to do like spring break or, anything. But they have to sit in their houses or sit in their offices right now for 3 months, just like our kids are bummed right now. Kids are bummed because there's nothing to look forward to till spring break. Very depressing time of the year, so it's very important we make them aware of it so they can normalize it. So it's not just them. If they think it's just them, they will start to make rash lateral move decisions. And they're not productive decisions. They're lateral at best. And they'll just have to change their environment. Grass is always greener. They won't make the real changes that they need to make. Okay? And this is really tricky, and I want to make sure we understand this. Because one of the things we do is we coach leadership. And that's what we're kind of known for. We're not just the guys that get you on the phone and tell you how many contacts to make, although we need to be. We got to do more than that though, right? So people always look for bright, shiny things like, I want to open up a mortgage company. Do I want them to do that? Sure. I want to open an insurance company. Yeah. I'm going to open up other offices. Sure. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. All these different things. I'm going to hire this person. I'm going to open an ISA division. Those are all good things with one condition. You don't forget your gas pedal. And it's up to us to remember their gas pedal. They must keep lead generating and they must keep recruiting. I don't care who you are or what model you have. If you've got a reason why you're not recruiting, it's a bad one. I don't care who you are. It's a bad one because you're just saying I can't grow. And if you can't grow, you're going to start going backwards. I promise you, because no one has a path out without growth, including yourself, and you will burn out. So you better get over that obstacle and we better friggin' find that obstacle because they must be recruiting. And I'm talking to every one of you on this call. I know every one of your businesses. If you don't think you need to recruit for the next 30 days for your business, I challenge any of you. I'm sure you got an excuse, but I'll challenge you. Because you all have enough time and you all have enough money, I'm sure, to do everything you want for the rest of your life. But they have to feel that pressure right now. Now, at the same time, we don't want to overwhelm them and say, hey, because you know what they do if you do that this time of the year. They also can quit and say, nope, this isn't me. I'm going to make a big change in my plans. I don't even need to grow anymore. Some of you have heard that lately because that's cancellation talk. Because there's a delicate dance between pushing them and telling them why you're pushing them. Right as you're doing it, we have to pull them out and say, remember why you first called me as I'm delivering it. I can only go about 5 minutes of push before I have to go 5 minutes of finish line. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, man, we have a coach's certification course you're supposed to know here. We have to show them that. And that's true with your agents on your teams or anyone you're trying to motivate. Because no one wants to go back to work. They're all lazy right now. We've had all this time off. And this is it's gonna feel terrible. That's why everyone quits the gym by the end of this month. You wonder why. It's no different with everything. I just have been watching this for 3 decades now, plus. So this time of year, it's pretty robotic for me. I know what's going to happen. The depression that sets in, especially yesterday. Yesterday, I guarantee you, half of you had a degree of depression. Half the country had a degree of hangover at all those football games. I guarantee you. That depression from all those emails, everybody pushing on Monday, because they've all been off for freaking 4 weeks, if not 2 months. So you'll get overloaded and you're like, man, I hate, just too much, too fast. So you have to help them navigate through that and remind them why and how and what happens if they don't. And that's tough, man. That's a trick. So you have to do the dance back and forth. Finish line, remember where we're going, and B, baby steps, we got to move forward. Guys, if you don't grow your organization, and what is your organization? Agent count. It's everything. And every one of you guys' teams and businesses are too small. I can't tell you how many people want to open up a mortgage company, but they can't because they just don't have enough freaking agents to really justify it. The loan officers don't want to come. And if they do, they want to go branch out and do their own thing and all that kind of thing. Why? Because you don't have enough agents on your teams. You could have it in your brokerage, but they ain't going to do a thing you say. Better be on your team because they will do something they say. Right? There's a different relationship with team members. So if you don't grow it, you can't do these things. It doesn't make as much sense. But if you grow and you keep your eye on growth and keep putting your head down and stop shutting it all down for all these different reasons and difficulties and obstacles, I'm telling you, man, the idea of a lost leader, I don't need you to lose money on your team. But quite frankly, even if you did, you'd make a lot more money than those smaller teams that protect their profit margin because of all the other opportunities in business that it opens up. And we see that all over the place. All over the place. So the idea of stopping growth and not being able to recruit or not even recruiting, or this one, now the new trend. Here's a new trend. I want to recruit by attraction. I want to pull, not push. Well, the only way you do that is grow big, and then they'll start coming to you. But you got a team of 4 agents, people aren't just going to start jumping on your team. So growth, but you have a team of 400 agents, people start jumping on your team. Even 40, they might start. So we got to push too. So it's a very convenient time for us to get lost in our 1-3-5 business plans and pick all the easy fun stuff like, let's do this marketing thing, or let's pick our website, or let's really change our branding here, or maybe let's explore these other brokerage options. All the stuff that is not fun, because everything's not fun right now. Instead, I need us to, it's okay to have a little fun, but it can never be in lieu of lead generation, and for most of us, more importantly, recruiting. Growth is everything. That's what opens up all the doors that increase more income, that gives all of your people opportunity, that creates a pull, attraction, growth atmosphere. And most importantly, to me at least, and for all of you, is to have more free time and stop using lack of time as an excuse for not being able to grow. We got a problem there too. Make sense? Because now is the time. Those serious conversations have to happen, because if you don't have them, they're going to have them in their own heads with their own narratives. It is a bad time to get up here. Real bad time. So be real careful, or they're going to start changing their business plans and say they don't need coaching because they just quit their dreams. And they will think up some circumstance that acquired that is totally made up to justify it. And it will be totally made up. Well, it's different for me because they already made their emotional decision, then they're going to go back and put facts in place to support it. Super common. Super common. So that's great content to lead out and this is preventative. This is something we talked about on our coaching call. Guys, this has been going on for decades. This is not new. This is not made up, but we have to guard against it. And the way we do it is we make them self-aware of it. So they realize the way they're feeling is normal. Shake that off. Shake that off. I feel it. I can't even count how many emails I've gotten yesterday and today. It's been insane. Everybody's been waiting for this. I'm like, where were you when I had all this time? If I start going down that road, it's not a very productive road for me. Thoughts, questions, concerns before I dish it over to Brad here?
Yeah, I want to say something, Brian. I appreciate. So I was in a negative mindset about 2 calls ago, and you kind of around the bush called me out on it, and I appreciate that. It made me, I was not self-aware of what I was projecting by, saying this is stupid, people aren't working during the holidays and everything like that. Yeah. And I appreciate that. So I wanted to say thank you for that, because it made me go back and look and think, okay, that's probably, no, it's not the leader that I like to be, right? I like to be the servant leader and rally everybody around me, not Thanks, talk man. Down to them. So that's cool. I appreciate that.
Since we're all admitting, I did the exact same thing yesterday pretty hard. So I just thought I turned it around, and then I just want to make sure I tell you, yeah, I do the exact same thing. Everybody, there's something wrong with us if we don't do that, I think. We're too good. Well, thank you, Michael. I appreciate that.
Yep.